The True Wireless Earbuds Awards for this year is live on the channel, so we now know the very best earbuds on the market right now. But a lot of you have been asking about the best earbuds under $100, so that's exactly what today's video is going to be. I'm going to try to be more concise this time, just to keep the video from being overly long, so do ask any questions you have about these earbuds and others for things I couldn't cover in the video. Just like last time, there's a very good chance the earbuds you want to know about have been tested, even if they didn't make it into the top 10. I should emphasize that these are the top 10, but in no particular order. There are just so many different factors and small aspects to consider that to explain a definitive ranking would make this video excessively long. However, I will highlight a few of my personal top picks, the standout performers, and the reasons why you should specifically consider those. First up then, we have the Jabra Elite 3, the new entry-level earbuds in their lineup. These have a fairly basic design for both the earbuds and the charging case, but they still feel well made, the case is compact and travel friendly, and it has some decent strong magnets for the lid and for snapping the earbuds back into place. The ergonomic improvements that Jabra brought with the Elite 7, 4 and 3s are excellent. The earbuds fit very securely and comfortably in my ears, offer great passive noise isolation, which goes a long way in offsetting the fact that these don't have active noise cancellation, and they're also a good option for people with smaller ears. The secure fit meant that these were great for running and most workouts, especially with an IP55 rating. The fit does depend on your ear shape though, and without any wingtips to lock them in place, they're not perfect for workouts, just a very good option. This new shape also works great with Jabra's physical button controls, which you can comfortably press without pushing the ear tip further into your ear canal, so the controls turned out to be really easy to use. There's sadly no wearing detection with these, and customizing the controls is limited to the double tap command only, which you can change from your phone's voice assistant to activate either Spotify Tap or Alexa. These come with Jabra's transparency mode hear-through, which is pretty good, but not nearly as effective as in their higher-end earbuds. So to get adjustable hear-through and ANC, you'll need to go for at least the Elite 4 Active instead. They also come with side tone, so you can hear your own voice on a call, though it's not adjustable with these. The call quality isn't quite as impressive as Jabra's best earbuds, isolating my voice isn't as good, for example. But they still uphold Jabra's great reputation and should be fine for most phone call situations. The battery life is decent with 7 hours per charge, and connectivity was great with Bluetooth 5.2. There were no latency issues at all, you can use either earbud on its own, and pairing was really easy on Android with Google Fast Pair. Codecs unusually are just SBC and aptX. It's good to see aptX here of course, but rather strange there's no AAC support. Fortunately, neither the connection nor the sound quality suffers on iOS, so iPhone users don't need to worry. Speaking of sound quality though, this is great, really rich and dynamic. There's a smooth, slightly warm sound signature which is typical of Jabra. You get noticeably deep bass, clear mids, but not a whole lot of detail in the highs. Still, it's a relaxing and pleasant listening experience throughout. These come with an adjustable custom equalizer in the app, so you can fine-tune these to your preference. And as with most Jabra earbuds, I think adding a slight V-shaped EQ does elevate the sound to be a bit more exciting. I compared these side by side with their flagship Elite 7 Pro, and there's honestly barely any difference at all, just slightly more boosted bass with the Elite 3s. The 3s compromise in a lot of areas to bring the price down from the flagship 7 Pros, but sound quality really isn't one of them. It's quite a basic Jabra experience here, and wearing detection, wireless charging and ANC are notable omissions. But for people who want a comfortable, good listening experience with decent battery life, that's exactly what you get here, and at a reasonable low cost. Next up is the Lypertek Z3. This is the updated 2nd gen version of the earbuds, which is sporting one of the most impressive spec sheets of all the earbuds in this video. These have wireless charging, a huge 80-hour battery life, Bluetooth 5.2 with AAC and aptX codecs, and a reassuring IPX7 water resistance rating, so you can fully submerge these underwater. Hear-through mode is a new addition as well, but unfortunately this was very disappointing. It generates a white noise sound that actually makes it harder for you to hear your surroundings than with it turned off, so it's effectively useless. The Pure Control companion app is fairly basic in its features, providing only limited customization over the controls, but you also have location tracking and lots of control over the sound with the equalizer. The new LDX audio mode brings a volume and bass boost, but you can easily achieve a similar sound by tweaking the EQ yourself. The Z3s are perhaps best known for their fantastic sound quality, and here I really can't fault them at all. The audio is clean, well balanced and powerful. They can get super loud as well, and these are punching well above their weight for earbuds at this price. The only downside with the audio is that there are some weird static noises when your music is paused. You don't hear it with music playing, but it's something I notice every time I pause or between songs.
The mic quality is also fine with these, nothing amazing, and they don't really isolate my voice too well in a noisy environment. The mics are sensitive though, and my voice sounded clear to the caller at the other end. So you might have some issues in louder places, but otherwise these should be okay for phone calls.
The biggest drawback for me is the earbud shape. The ear tip can sit very deep in the ear canal, and I have to be extremely careful with how I place these in my ears. They can cause that ear plugging sensation, so the passive noise isolation can actually be really good with these, despite there being no ANC. But it's very easy to push these in too far, which can be quite painful, and there's a real trick to learning how to press the very firm physical buttons without jamming these further in. They're comfortable enough once they're finally in place, but that constant risk of these being pushed in too far always makes me nervous. It also means I can't fully enjoy the immersion or the bass these offer because I can't get that perfect fit. The app can be quite buggy too, with lots of annoying issues reconnecting, so once I'd set my EQ, I basically gave up trying to use it. Also, the charging case, though lovely to hold with its soft fabric exterior, is rather bulky and has quite a flimsy lid that's eager to slam shut. On the plus side, it does house that gigantic battery, the LEDs are nice and clear, and the magnets are strong too. Overall, the ergonomics, controls, and hear-through mode let these down, but the Z3s are otherwise an excellent pair of earbuds, with impressive sound quality, amazing battery life, and great water resistance. Next is Soundcore's Life P3. These have one of the more premium cases with this matte finish, a nicely weighted lid, good magnets, and best of all, wireless charging. The earbuds give a reasonable 7 hours of battery life, 35 in total, and support the SBC and AAC codecs. Connectivity is good, but there is a very minor audio lag with YouTube on iOS devices if you look closely. Android seem fine. The earbuds have a simple, clean design with a nice matte texture on the outside. The touch controls here seem responsive, and it's relatively easy to hit that sweet spot on the Soundcore logo each time. I just wish these had wearing detection to enhance the experience. The inner glossy plastic seems cheaper in quality, but the overall build seems good, and there are lots of great colour options too. These have an IPX5 water resistance rating, and the fit in my ears was secure enough for running and most workouts. The seal felt quite gentle though, so the passive noise isolation wasn't ideal, but they were super comfortable to wear. These are definitely easy to wear all day, and the stem design, along with a wide selection of ear tips, should provide a universal fit. The app provides customization over the controls, a comprehensive EQ, an ambient sound feature for sleep, which we saw way back in the Soundcore Wakey review, and also game mode. Turning this on actually fixes that minor iOS YouTube lag, and if you're a gamer, you'll notice an improvement with latency, especially in games like shooters. Game mode has a custom sound profile that's supposed to enhance footsteps and voices, which I didn't notice much myself, but the low latency is worthwhile. You'll also find an ear tip fit test in the app, as well as Find My Earbuds, which doesn't work by location, but rather plays a loud sound through the earbuds to help you find them. A key selling point though is multi-mode ANC and transparency. You'll have seen these modes before in Soundcore's other earbuds, and the performance is expectedly weaker here in the cheaper P3s. The ANC doesn't do much for sounds like voices, even with indoor mode, but does help to take out some of the low-end hum and bring a subtle reduction in environmental noise. This may be a lot to do with that gentle seal in my ears, and most of the other earbuds form a tighter seal with better isolation, so if you find these fit really securely, you may have better results.
The mic quality is fine with these, and they do a good job isolating my voice. In loud environments they struggle more, but most of the time they should be okay for phone calls, and I'd say these were one of the better performers.
Now as for the sound quality, these give a really lively, energetic sound with an emphasis on bass. The big 11mm drivers deliver powerful deep bass, and there's even an extra bass up feature for those who really want that weighty thump with their music. The mid-range stays reasonably clear though, vocals sound great, there's good detail, and it's easy to fine-tune the sound with the various EQ options. For drawbacks, I'd say the volume is lower than on most earbuds, so you might need to crank these up a bit more, and you'll also hear a noticeable low-end boost when you're listening in ANC mode. But overall, really good audio performance. The Life P3s offer a pretty comprehensive feature set, a great app experience, and powerful sound in a very comfortable form factor. Of course, features like ANC aren't as good as in flagship models, but the P3s feel like a well-rounded earbud, and like you're getting a lot for your money. The fourth entry is Google's Pixel Buds A series, which, on paper, may appear to have the weakest spec sheet of these 10 earbuds. There's no ANC, no transparency, no wireless charging, and iPhone users will miss out on a selection of Android-only features. However, their simplicity and convenience is so good that the Pixel Buds are just a joy to use. The earbuds are small, lightweight, and some of the most comfortable I've ever used. You may remember they placed second for comfort in the True Wireless Earbuds Awards. In-ear pressure vents help with this too, along with a semi-open design that provides a gentle seal in the ear. Prioritizing comfort over stability may mean these aren't the best option for workouts. Those tiny wingtips don't do much to lock these in place, at least in my ears, though an IPX4 water resistance rating does help if you want these to be your gym earbuds as well. These have responsive, easy-to-use touch controls, and best of all, they have wearing detection, which is rare to find in this sub-$100 category. Only one other pair of earbuds in this video supports the feature. The tiny charging case makes these super portable. It has a lovely matte finish and a satisfying magnetic lid, which is the best of any charging case. This case would be perfect if only it had wireless charging and a better battery life. You only get 5 hours per charge and 24 total with the case, so that's relatively poor, and the call quality, as you may be able to hear, is only average. You can take calls on these for sure, but you're probably going to struggle in any kind of noisy environment. Connectivity is great with support for single earbud use on either side, no visible latency with videos, and these have the SBC and AAC codecs. With Android devices, you'll also get instant pairing, Find My Device, Google Assistant support, and adaptive sound, all of which are not available for iPhone users, so you don't get as good a deal with these as you do on Android. In terms of sound quality, these aren't going to blow anyone away, but they do sound pretty good. There's an emphasis on the mid-range, which has great clarity and crisp forward vocals. There's just enough bass here to bring body to the audio, and a slight roll-off in the highs prevents any harsh sibilance, so you just get a really pleasant listening experience. I think the issues will come from a lack of ANC or strong passive noise isolation, so you may find your music drowned out by the outside world in a noisy environment. The max volume is also pretty low with these, and there are no EQ options either, aside from a bass adjustment on Android. The Pixel Buds are kind of like AirPods in that they're not really the best at any one thing, and features like battery life and mic quality are underwhelming. But they're super convenient to use, they sound good, and have some exclusive extra benefits for Android in the same way AirPods do for iPhones. The real-world experience using these is a lot better than those specs might suggest, and they're still a solid option for less than $100. Now we have what I think are JBL's best value earbuds in their entire lineup, the Tune 230 NC. These fit really well, are quite comfortable, and fully seal my ears, so the passive noise isolation is good, and they stay securely in place. Combining this with an IPX4 rating, I find these good for workouts. The touch controls were fairly sensitive, and the small indent makes it easy to hit the right spot. The only downsides are no wearing detection, and that the customization only lets you change groups of controls rather than individual gestures. They come in a bunch of different colours, and the matte texture looks great and helps them feel a bit more premium too. The case has this nice finish as well, though sadly there's no wireless charging here. However, the battery life is excellent. You get 10 hours per charge and up to 40 in total with the case, both of which can be tracked in the app. Connectivity is also good with Bluetooth 5.2, SBC and AAC, and single earbud use on either side. There is a tiny bit of audio lag with YouTube and iOS, but you can change the connection mode to video, which helps to mitigate this, though I'd say it's still not really low enough for fast-paced gaming. The JBL app offers some extra features, such as preset or custom equalizers, Alexa and Google Assistant support, and Find My Earbuds.
There's also a voice-aware feature, so you can choose how much of your own voice is allowed to filter into the mics. So that's a pro for phone calls, and actually the call quality was pretty good too. Nothing fantastic, but these do isolate my voice fairly well, so you should be able to take calls in louder environments too.
The NC in the name does of course mean these have noise cancellation, and I'd say the performance is average, so there's a slight reduction in the overall noise level, and as usual, these are much more effective with low-end frequencies. There's an ambient aware mode to let you hear your surroundings, and again, I'd say that this is average too, with a couple of the other earbuds offering much stronger ANC and transparency. These also have talk through, which is essentially just ambient aware, but it also lowers your music volume so you can hear your conversation. You can easily toggle this on and off with a double tap. The 230s are packing JBL's pure bass sound, and boy do they mean it. In typical JBL style, these deliver seriously deep, powerful bass, and if you're looking for the most bass-heavy earbuds in this list, then the 230 NC are definitely the ones you want. You can try to balance out the sound with the EQ, and you'll get a much clearer mid-range if you do, but the bass still dominates here, and a significant roll-off for the treble. So for the drawbacks, I'd highlight that heavy weighting towards the low end, and a slightly congested sound lacking that nice airy quality and sparkling highs. The custom EQ can be really fiddly and irritating to set as well, so that's something to watch out for. For some of you though, that bass-heavy sound will be exactly what you're looking for, and these offer a well-rounded feature set in a comfortable design. Next up are Creative's Outlier Air V3. Creative have long since fixed the issues with the original Air's tough physical buttons, replacing them with responsive touch controls which are much better. There are two annoying issues that remain though. One, that despite offering customization on the controls, there's no option for a single tap, which is especially annoying given that there's no wearing detection either. And two, that the long tap changes its function depending on whether or not your music is playing. And you really need to remember this, because if you go to tap and hold when your music is paused, you'll disconnect the earbuds from your phone. It's super annoying. Anyway, the design for the earbuds is pretty basic and not the most exciting we've seen, but the fit is comfortable, and with the larger ear tips I can get a tight seal for good passive noise isolation. They move quite a bit when exercising though, so they're not the best for workouts, despite having an IPX5 water resistance rating. The charging case is much more interesting, albeit one of the biggest and bulkiest on the market. The earbuds slide out of the case with this unique mechanism, and I like that there are individual LEDs for the battery and charging status of each earbud and the case. The case supports wireless charging, which is great to see, though the metal parts of the case did give a few of my wireless chargers some trouble, since they're designed to reject charging when they come into contact with any metal. With most of my chargers it wasn't a problem, but that is a potential design flaw to be aware of. The earbuds hold 10 hours per charge, which is great, with the case bringing this up to 40 total, which is also good, but for a case this size, I'd expect closer to Lypertek's fantastic 80 hours. Connectivity is solid. These have Bluetooth 5.2, SBC and AAC, single earbud use on either side, and no visible latency with videos. These also have a companion app, but it is very basic. It's simply battery tracking, custom controls, an equalizer, and finally the noise control modes. The ANC and ambient mode performance was actually not bad at all, mainly because these actually attenuate voices and some other mid-range frequencies, not just the low rumble of an air conditioning unit. The ambient mode was impressive, and you can adjust this to be very amplified so your surroundings become really clear. There are some strange static noises in ambient mode, which are also amplified as you move the slider up to max, so that's the only downside.
The mic quality with these surprised me, and actually isolates my voice from the background noise really well. It still filters in louder sounds like passing cars, but for the most part, the phone call performance is good, even in noisy environments.
As for audio quality, it's a shame because these can sound really good, but you're gonna have to work hard to get there. The vocals are recessed, and there's some harsh piercing sibilance with the stock settings. Just look at this crazy EQ I had to set to finally get these sounding good. The EQ is a bit of a pain to set as well, and you have to go easy on the bass or this will start to muddy the sound. Once you get the EQ configured to your taste, the bass is strong and the sound is well detailed, and they certainly punch well above their weight. They're tuned for optimum performance with the Super X-Fi app, a technology that's supposed to create a spacious, multi-speaker system experience in your earbuds. But this turned out to be a huge disappointment. It's cumbersome to get set up, it doesn't work with streamed music, only what's stored in your phone, which I imagine is instantly a deal breaker for most, and the sound quality is honestly just bad. Swerve this so-called raved about technology and just listen in normal mode. It's not worth your time. So there are some flaws and quirks to deal with in the Air V3s, and the overall experience is clearly not as polished as in most of the other earbuds in this list. But these are also the cheapest option by some margin, and actually the ANC, transparency, battery life and sound quality are all pretty decent, so they're definitely worth checking out. Now we have what I think are a really underrated pair of earbuds, Sennheiser's CX True Wireless. If you watch the True Wireless Earbuds Awards, then you'll know that the CX Plus performed really well, and essentially these are just the sub $100 version that have almost exactly the same specs, minus ANC, transparency and wearing detection. Those are obviously three massive features to lose out on, and I'd normally recommend you spend the extra on the CX Plus, but sadly they don't qualify for this video, and now that the CX are down to just $80, it makes them an absolute steal. These have a clean, minimal design with really good build quality. The same goes for the charging case, which has strong magnets and a nice and compact size too. The earbuds are a bit on the bulky side, but this large flat surface makes the responsive touch controls really easy to use, you can customize these in the app as well. Despite their size, they're surprisingly comfortable, and with the larger ear tips I got not only a secure fit, but excellent passive noise isolation, which helps to offset the lack of ANC. Personally, I wouldn't work out with these because they rely on the ear tips to hold them in place, so they're not especially secure, but they do have an IPX4 rating for protection. Battery life is good at 9 hours per charge and 27 in total, but sadly it's USB-C charging only. There are no connectivity issues at all, no dropouts or latency, you've got single earbud use on either side, and SBC, AAC and aptX support.
So this is the mic test for the CX earbuds, and as you can hear, my voice sounds pretty clear for phone calls, but there's not much isolation going on to separate it from the traffic noise in the background. So phone calls should be fine in a quiet environment, but any louder noises like a car passing close by is likely going to drown you out.
And now for the fundamental reason these earbuds have made the top 10, it's the sound quality. There's a bit of a bass boost here compared to Sennheiser's neutral, accurate sound signature found in their flagship Momentum 2s, but the CX still have beautifully clear natural mids, detailed treble, and a wide soundstage. There's actually a bass boost option here as part of the Sennheiser EQ for those who want that heavy bass sound, but these are made for those of you who want that near flagship quality sound and are some of the best sounding earbuds under $100. My only sound criticism really is just a relatively low volume, which seems to be a theme with Sennheiser earbuds. The CX earbuds aren't as feature-packed as some of our other entries, so they won't be for everyone. But in typical Sennheiser fashion, it's a quality over quantity situation here. They're well crafted, have good touch controls, and are optimized for a great listening experience. Now we have one of the most fascinating entries, Nothing's Ear 1. A pair of earbuds that were so massively overhyped that they were then met with such disappointing reviews, to the point where today they're now severely underrated. So I want to get into how good these earbuds actually are. What the tech world has reached a consensus on is the design, with many, including myself, calling these the best looking earbuds on the market. This transparent design looks awesome, the craftsmanship is second to none, and I personally love this minimal design that, as nothing says, highlights the beauty of tech. It's not just for the earbuds, but the charging case too, and I think these look especially good in this new black colour. You're not going to be mistaking this unique design for any other earbuds. The touch controls here are great, they're responsive, and the contact area is surprisingly wide. They're one of only a few earbuds to support a swipe gesture for volume, and this time it actually works. I had close control over each volume increment, and the glossy outer surface meant that I could swipe without knocking these from my ears, though this is still possible if you aren't careful. These also have wearing detection and customization in the app, so the controls are almost perfect, but customization is limited and there's sadly no single tap option. Comfort is another thing they've nailed. I'm talking forget you're wearing them, kind of comfortable. They're lightweight and form a gentle seal in the ear, so I can easily wear these all day. I can just about run with them as well, and they have IPX4 protection, but I wouldn't trust them to stay in place for most other workouts. The gentle seal means the passive noise isolation isn't amazing, even with the larger ear tips. However, the active noise cancellation was surprisingly good. Obviously, it's not flagship level performance, but you can clearly hear the reduction in noise turning this on. The transparency mode though is very good, clearly amplifying your surroundings. There's still a bug here though, where there's a faint hiss that seems to fade in and out in transparency mode. Inaudible with music playing, but still a bug. So for all the firmware update improvements we've seen since their launch, that minor annoyance still exists. The main improvements have been to connectivity. These are now very reliable, offer single earbud use, fast pairing, and show no noticeable latency with videos. There is a dedicated low latency mode here as well, which gamers may be interested in, but otherwise it's not really necessary. On one day, I did have an earbud randomly disconnect, but a quick power off and on with the case seemed to fix it. So maybe not 100% of the issues are fixed, but on the whole, my experience has been pretty consistent. Battery life is a big weakness though. You only get 5 hours on a single charge, with up to 34 in the case. They do support wireless charging though, which is nice, and actually, these are the only earbuds in this video to offer ANC, transparency, and wireless charging, so these actually have the most complete feature set.
The mic quality was really decent as well, my voice sounded really clear, and the earbuds isolate my voice effectively from the background noise, so phone call performance was very good.
As for the audio quality, it's good, better than I expected actually. These have good clarity, are well detailed, and are leaning slightly towards a bright sound signature. The bass is tight and punchy, but I'm sure some will find this lacking. EQ options, unfortunately, are very limited. You've only got these 4 options. There's a distinct difference with each mode, but I'd love to be able to customize this myself with a personal EQ. The overall sound quality should be good enough to please most, but some of our other entries like Lypertek and Sennheiser are a step up. Having tested these thoroughly myself, I can understand why the initial reviews were so underwhelming. As the flagship killing phenomenon these earbuds were touted to be, sure, they leave a lot to be desired. But as a $99 pair of earbuds, as they should be viewed, they're actually exceptional value for money. I was left genuinely shocked by just how good these turned out to be for the price. Next up are a pair of earbuds without the hype surrounding the Nothing Ear 1, but that also don't get nearly the credit they deserve, EarFun Free Pro 2. They're the only entry with no companion app, and we know that no companion app means no customization, fewer features, and no firmware updates. However, it also means that they're simple to set up and use, and actually, the performance in a few areas is the best of these 10 earbuds. The design is quite basic and nothing to write home about, but both the earbuds and the charging case are very small and travel friendly. These are super lightweight, really comfortable to wear, and form a very tight seal in my ears, so the passive noise isolation is excellent. They also come with wingtips, which provide a very secure and stable fit. These actually earned a spot in the True Wireless Earbuds Awards for workouts for this reason, and they come with an IPX5 rating. The touch controls are responsive, include volume control, and are sensibly mapped out, which is fortunate since there's no way to customize them, and there's sadly no wearing detection either. For battery life, you get a not great 6 hours per charge, and then 30 in total with the charging case. The case does support wireless charging though, which is great to see. Connectivity was good, these have SBC and AAC, single earbud use on either side, and no visible latency with videos. There's also a low latency game mode, which works surprisingly well. Gamers will definitely want to turn this on for a noticeable improvement. The standout features for me were ANC and transparency, and I was surprised a pair of earbuds at this price could offer such good performance. These are the best noise cancellers in this list, and you'll hear a clear reduction in the outside noise turning it on. The transparency mode is the best as well, by some margin. Your surroundings are very clear, and there's only a faint hiss to go with it.
The same can't be said for the mic quality, which was only average at best. These let in quite a lot of the background noise, so in louder environments, you're probably going to struggle making phone calls.
For sound quality, these are another bass-driven pair of earbuds, with a warm sound signature and deep, powerful bass that almost rivals JBL. This doesn't muddy the mid-range though. The bass is clean, and actually the clarity in soundstage is pretty good. There's some roll-off in the highs that mean the sound isn't as sharp and detailed as I'd like, and these don't rival the best sounding earbuds in this video. But the overall sound quality is decent, and I think most people will enjoy these. The EarFun Free Pro 2 are lacking the expansive feature set that most of our other entries offer, and it's a shame these don't have a companion app to finesse the experience. But these tiny, comfortable earbuds are great for workouts, cancelling noise, and for powerful bass-heavy sound. And finally, last but certainly not least, we have Cambridge Audio's Melomania Touch. I did consider putting the popular OnePlus in here instead, but since both earbuds sound great, but the Touch offer better controls, comfort and fit, I think these are the better option. The first thing that struck me was the charging case. It's reasonably small and compact, but it's this lovely faux leather that I really like, and makes these earbuds feel more premium. The earbud shape for me is a big improvement over the bullet-shaped OnePlus, and these are designed to contour to your ear shape. This makes for a shallow profile in your ears, and a very comfortable and secure fit too. The small wingtips help keep these really secure during workouts, and these have an IPX4 rating, so these were another excellent choice for workouts. The touch controls were nice and responsive, and had a large contact area too, but sadly there's no wearing detection. You also can't customize what each gesture does, you can only turn off certain controls, so that was disappointing too. These offer decent passive noise isolation, which is good since there's no ANC, but there is a transparency mode. But this is laughably bad. It barely amplifies your surroundings, and if you drag the slider up to max, all you're doing is increasing the loud hissing sound these produce, which drowns out everything else anyway. It's easier to hear your surroundings with it turned off, so it's useless. For battery life, you get 9 hours per charge and 50 in total, so that's really good, although that is in the low power mode. In high performance mode, which you'll want for the best sound, I was getting just shy of 7 hours on a single charge. There's one glaring weakness with these earbuds, and that's connectivity. These are the only earbuds of the 10 not to support single earbud use on either side, only the master earbud can be used on its own. You can change which one the master is, through a cumbersome process, but it's not as easy and seamless as simply putting one earbud back in the case at will. This system also meant that the earbuds tried to pair individually to my phone, and I had loads of issues getting them set up and in sync. I spent a long time with sound only coming from one side. Things were okay once I had everything set up properly, but I also ran into issues reconnecting to the app, as well as app crashes. The only connectivity saving grace is that the latency is low for videos, and they support SBC, AAC, and aptX.
So this is how the mics sound on the Melomania Touch, and they're pretty good. The background noise is fairly quiet, and my voice is quite clear. But one thing to point out is that you need to install the wingtips very carefully, because it's easy to accidentally cover up the microphone with them, which will make your voice sound really muffled.
The earbuds' single best feature though is the audio quality, and these are definitely a contender to be the best sounding earbuds under $100. These have such a rich, lively and energetic sound, with a clear, spacious mid-range and great instrument separation. The bass is deep but controlled, though it doesn't quite boom as loudly as some of our more bass-heavy earbuds in this list. The highs are crisp and detailed as well, though just bordering on being a bit harsh, and the 5-band EQ doesn't give me as much precision over the sound as I'd like. Overall though, these sound fantastic. The Melomania Touch don't have the most complete feature set, with no ANC, wearing detection, or wireless charging, and the transparency mode and those connectivity issues let these down. But if comfort, battery life, and certainly sound quality are priorities, you'll struggle to find anything better at this price. Okay, so that's our top 10 best earbuds under $100, and I've put this table together to give a summary of the earbuds' main features, with the scores at the top showing the basic relative performance. So pause here if you want to compare stats side by side. This top 10 wasn't in any particular order, because there are so many different factors you could choose to prioritize, but I'll highlight a few of my standout performers. The first would be the EarFun Free Pro 2. There are some flagship earbuds that don't have this level of ANC or transparency performance. It's very impressive. They're also an excellent choice for workouts, support wireless charging, and they sound pretty good too. The next would be Cambridge Audio's Melomania Touch, which I think could be the best sounding earbuds under $100. They offer a richer and fuller sound than Lypertek Z3 or Sennheiser's CX, two close contenders. The improved ergonomics help create a great seal in your ear, with solid noise isolation to really immerse you in the music. I'd love to hear from you if you think there are better sounding earbuds for the price. But my number one standout performer has to be Nothing's Ear 1, which I honestly didn't expect I'd be saying. They just have solid all-round performance, minus the battery life, and to me they offer the best value for the money. When you're shopping in that sub $100 price bracket, you know going into it that you'll be compromising in the performance and specs, so all of a sudden factors like design and appearance become much more important. Why not get the earbuds you think look the best when none of these is the best sounding or best noise cancelling anyway? I think these are the best looking earbuds on the market by far, and maybe it's a different pair of earbuds for you. But my point is, don't let yourself be distracted by flashy specs and let it stop you from getting the earbuds you really want. Let me know in the comments though, what are your favourite earbuds under $100? Remember that many more earbuds went into the testing process than were featured in this video, so do ask any questions you have about either these 10 or other earbuds, and I'll do my best to answer you. Thanks for watching this video, I hope it's been helpful, and if it has then please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe for more content like this one, the Galaxy S22 series videos are coming very soon, and I hope to see you all in the next one.